What would your 13-year-old self think of you now? Probably wonder why I'm wearing a mask. It's because nobody cared who you were until you put on the mask. Is this a Joker reference? Is that a joke or a serious question? Wow, I thought I was fat now. Preach. Disappointed is not a strong enough word. You've met my parents. I take it. Sad but hilarious. I think she'd be fairly disappointed. I didn't end up making my mark on the world like I thought I would. But honestly, duck her. I'm much happier since I let go of trying to impress people. Same here. I had really unhealthy expectations for myself and didn't anticipate all the hits I would take along the way. Whenever this kind of post comes around, I have to try really hard to remind myself that there's nothing wrong with not living up to what I expected. My values have changed, and the world has too. Mediocrity is all I want now. You shouldn't want mediocrity. Things can change, but you should always try and excel in whatever it is you do, as long as it isn't rooted in pure apathy. I would say to each their own. It must be kind of liberating to make peace with where you are in life, instead of keeping striving to progress, just for the sake of it. I mean, for who are you doing it anyway at that point, if you're genuinely happy and content of where you are in life, that is. So that's it. Huh. Oh, you ain't seen nothing yet grows older. This isn't even my final form. I'm a disappointment to 13 years old me. Almost 40 years old me doesn't care though, because the 13 years old was so accustomed and brainwashed to the abuse. She wouldn't have known better. If you've made a change to make your life better than an abusive one, I'm sure 13-year-old you would be glad to see that, whether they fully understand or not. Just knowing things are better than what you experienced, I'm sure it would be enough. Also hope you have learned to cope with the PTSD. How the actual duck did you become genuinely happy without depending on someone else? Edit. Thanks for all the upvotes. I didn't expect this to kinda blow up. But anyway, I hope you guys become truly happy as well. You deserve it. Well, I would like to know that too. Well, I honestly don't know. Like at the beginning of this month. It just hit me. Let's hope it lasts. Good for you, mate. Look at wife. High five. Same. Wow, this guy works with computers and does math for a living. How cool. Context. When I was 13 I had access to a computer with no drive and used cassette tape for storage. I hadn't heard of the internet because it was pretty much still known as ARPANET, and I thought calculus was only comprehensible to wizards and PhDs. Atari 400 with a cassette drive here. I had an Atari 400 and a 410 cassette drive until I was 13 when we got an Atari 800 XL and an Indus Duty disk drive. When I was 13 I got an MPP 1000C modem. When I was 13 I learned to program and forth. I had already learned Atari Basic since I was about 10. I have been a professional software developer since 1995. At my current job I get to do embedded software for microcontrollers. Holy shit. You have so many friends now. And so many great friends. I mean, I had great friends during my teens, but for the first time in my life I feel like my group of friends is here to stay. I feel this. It's so great to have what feels like such an amazing friend group. I'll have your back through thick and thin. She'd be amazed that not only does a boy like me, he fell in love with me, and we live in a house alone together. Thanks to 8 straight years of bullying. 13-year-old me was fairly certain she would die alone, having never experienced love outside of her family members. I'm happy for you. Thank you. That said, if you drop water balloons in the entrance hall again, I shall speak to the headmaster. But they were wet already. My 13-year-old self would be happy to see that she ended up okay and that life wasn't too bad after all. Yikes. Yup. What? I'm still alive. Edit. Damn. I didn't know this comment will be relatable this way. Anyways, reading all your replies I'd say I'm glad that you all gave life a second chance. I know I'm happy that I did. Stay happy and safe you guys. It's always going to get better, believe it. Same. 13-year-old me thought she would be dead by 18. I didn't think I was gonna make it to 21. 24 now and I still look around sometimes as if it's gonna end any moment. Exact same here except I'm 23. So it only gets worse. Huh. Yeah, then it turns around for whatever reason. He's so ducking tall. That awkward moment when you haven't grown since you were 13. I feel you. I'm my 13-year-old self. Wow. Very epic. No. Why do you have a deep voice? I want to have a high tenor voice. Honestly, same. You're still fat? So I get trapped in a house fire? What's the story behind this? Damn. You're a loser. Apostrophe. I can say is not true. Don't trust what 13 years said. She'd probably be blown away by my wardrobe and makeup skills. She'd be weirded out by my complete lack of anxiety to be myself. She would think some of the stuff I did was cool, and some probably not due to internalized shame. I think she'd admire me for my looks and seemingly grown-up manner, and like my stories and knowledge. I'd like to hug her so much and tell her it finally gets better at 21 if she just holds on to life. Pretty upset that I'm going to a community college instead of having a full ride to Harvard to live out my legally blonde fantasy. Wow, it actually does get better. I was very skinny, awkward, and just generally ugly until sophomore year of high school and never thought a boy would even look at me. Now I'm finishing up my ugly duckling story and living with my boyfriend of 2 years. This is one of the only good stories. Congrats. Thanks. Reminder that right now isn't forever. A family, a house, 3 cars, spending lots of weekends at circuits. You rule. Wow. That went downhill fast. Let's see him in my late 30s single and living with my parents BC and too depressed to function. I would say my 13-year-old self would be disappointed that I backtracked so far. I think I peaked at 13. Duck, why are people downvoting my personal experience? Thank you, but I hate myself enough for everyone. Fuck people that are downvoting you. It's the internet. People are mad because you're reminding themselves of them. Keep your head up. Thanks, man. I will be able to talk to people without embarrassing myself. Never would have guessed. Apostrophe. Wow. 2 years gives me like 5 inches. Nice. Where? Height. Duh. Top height or bottom height? If you know, you know. Hey, thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe.